Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for March 2020. My name is Gregory Scott. I'm an astrologer who lives in Glastonbury in England. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to do your horoscope for the month of March. The first thing that you'll notice that is really important is that Mercury, the communication planet, it retrogrades from the 16th of February until the 9th of March. Okay, so it appears to be going backwards. And it leaves Pisces, where Mercury in retrograde in Pisces has been really problematic. You may have found February quite emotionally, that there have been quite a lot of upheavals in terms of emotions. So it goes back into Aquarius, into your sign on the 5th, and it stays in Aquarius until the 16th. Okay, so it retrogrades back into Aquarius, then it stays there, so you feel much more comfortable communicating and seeing things clearly because Mercury is now in your sign. It's still in retrograde, so it's not ideal, but because you're in the sign that the planet is in, you're mitigating those circumstances to a certain extent. Okay? On the 9th of March, Mercury goes direct. So between the 5th of March and the 9th of March, wait a little bit in terms of expressing what you want to do. It's much better to do that from the 9th of March onwards than it is from the 5th or before the 5th. Because before the 5th, it's in Pisces and it's in retrograde, so two negatives. Then from the 5th until the end of the month, it's in Aquarius, so that's a plus, but until the 9th, it's in retrograde, so not that great. From the 9th, it's in the sign that Mercury, your sign, Aquarius, that it rules, and it's direct, so you're really going to be supported from the 9th of March onwards. And Mercury is all about helping yourself now. So what can I do to help myself? What can I do to make my life easier? Also on the 5th, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and creativity, that goes into Taurus in your 4th house, Aquarius. So Venus rules Taurus. It's very happy in Taurus. It's able to express its love physically, or by making meals, or by being around family members, or by being outrageous, whatever you enjoy doing in a practical sense. So that's really positive. It makes family life much easier. And you've also got a lot going on in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So you're going to be really strong here as the month goes on. And I really think that you step into your stride by the 9th of March when Mercury goes direct. And it's like ideas, bam, bam, bam. And you actually carry them out with that Venus in Taurus. It allows you to roll up your sleeves and to get practical with what it is you want to be doing. On the 9th, we have a full moon in Virgo. I'll make a separate video on this just to give you more detail. But in your case, Aquarius, it happens in the 8th house of institutions, you in connection to groups of people who are bigger than you, or things that are outside of your control, institutions, governments, the other side. The full moon gives you loads of Virgo energy, so you'll be able to analyze all of these institutions and these governmental bodies, and you'll see what you can do about certain things that have held you back. So visas or the law, anything like that. Any of you Aquarians who work with science, education, the law, philosophy, you're going to get great ideas that can alter the academic language around something because you come up with something new. Like for instance, in the 90s, ulcers, they realized only in the 90s that ulcers are created by a virus, not bacteria. You see, so there's always new discoveries being made, and you've got a mystic rectangle in the chart on this day. So the universe is giving you a real leg up when it comes to work. So that's understanding of your work is with you for the duration, for most of the month here until the 20th of March, which is when the spring equinox occurs. So spring equinox means that, obviously it's spring now. We're going into a time where the clocks are being moved forward at the end of the month on the 31st, or I think on the 29th in the UK. I have to double check that. But that means that the days are much longer immediately, which is great. So that brings more light into your life, and the sun moves into Aries. When the sun is in Aries, it's very much about, I want to communicate, I want to put myself out there, I want to go. So you really become fired up from the 20th onwards. And not that you're downcast or anything, but you become really optimistic at the end of the month. So possibly because you've been working so hard on your career and your work and your vocation, that you make sense of something, that you're really encouraged and motivated by the 20th to do even more good work. So this is a fab day for you. On the 20th as well, Jupiter conjuncts Mars. Jupiter is the lucky planet. Mars is the planet of ambition. And they sit together 22 degrees in Capricorn in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So your ambition and drive is to work out some spiritual reality that you feel very strongly about and to make it tangible physically. So you're very creative this month, and you have a bridge between what's up here and what's down here on planet Earth. You can implement lots of new ideas and talk really and communicate really original new things. I was watching TV the other day and someone said, let me just check what Voltaire would do in this situation. Voltaire was a French philosopher, and he seems to be in our society regarded as the man who knew it all. Everyone goes to see Voltaire before they make a decision. So it's that ability to think big and to think clearly about your career, the journey your career is on, what career drive and direction you want to take. On the 24th of March, we have the new moon in Aries, and that's also in your third house of communication. The transiting midheaven and transiting Chiron are in there. So it's talking about work, but with Chiron, there's the potential now to mess up things in terms of work. For you Aquarians who are out of work and who are looking for work, best times to apply for jobs are between the 9th of March until the 24th of March. That's when you have the best time to really get people on board, or to get a new job, or to start a new project, all of that. From the 24th until the end of the month, I'd be careful what I say. I'd rather do things independently, because you'll find that some of the stuff that you take for granted and that you think is perfectly fine is totally misconstrued by other people, and there could be major fallings out. So avoid that. Finally, on the 31st of March, Mars moves into your sign of Aquarius in your first house with Saturn. Mars says, let's go. Saturn says, let's not. Saturn says, let's build stability and structure. And they are at odds with one another. So moving into April, you're like, should I, shouldn't I? And that's why doing the work here in March is good, because when you're in this indecisive mode going into April, you'll be able to look back on March and look at the evidence of everything wonderful you've created, and you'll say, I'll go back to doing the one that was most successful. So there you go. That's what I got for you for March. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Yes. Also, in my readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. To draw up your astrology chart, I need your place of birth, time of birth, and date of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a rectification on gregoryscott.com. That's a process where I work out your time of birth, and then I have your chart in front of me. I can answer any questions you have. If you like this video, please share it online and hit the subscribe button. I hope you have a wonderful March, and I'll speak to you soon.